The city was drenched in rain, streets glistening under the faint glow of broken streetlights. The storm had been relentless since last night, washing away dust, noise, and the illusion of peace. In a narrow apartment on the 4th floor, a man sat still, his eyes lost in the trails of raindrops crawling down the window pane. It had been less than 24 hours since his confession video went live. A video that ripped through the silence he had built around himself for years. The world now knew his voice, his face, his truth. But the truth he had learned doesn't free you. It just changes what you have left to fear. He sat in darkness, the faint light from a flickering bulb stretching shadows across the walls. The old camera, the same one that had recorded his confession, sat quietly on the table before him, its red light dead, but its presence alive. It felt like the camera was still watching him, silently judging, silently remembering every word he had said. The air was heavy, smelling faintly of rain, dust, and regret. He reached out, touched the camera, and whispered to it like an old friend, "You wanted the truth. Now they all have it. What more do you want from me?" His words were swallowed by the hum of rain. The room felt smaller now, the walls closer than before, like the world was slowly folding in around him. He glanced at the clock, 2:47 a.m. Time seemed to mock him, moving forward while he stood frozen. Outside, the streets gleamed like ribbons of glass. Far in the distance, a car passed, its tires hissing through puddles. Then silence again. He could almost hear his heartbeat in the stillness. For a moment, he considered leaving, maybe disappear into the night, vanish like he had before. But he knew better. You can't hide from the truth once it's out. It doesn't chase you, it just waits for you to stop running. His reflection in the window stared back at him, tired eyes framed by guilt and sleeplessness. He barely recognized himself anymore. The sound came suddenly, a car door slamming shut. Then another, the rhythm of boots against wet pavement, steady and synchronized.
He froze. The air in the room turned to glass.
A faint static of police radios bled through the sound of the rain. His breath grew shallow, hands trembling slightly as he moved toward the door. He could feel it now, the weight of every secret he had buried pressing against his chest. The apartment, once his hiding place, now felt like a trap. He looked around one last time, at the camera, the chair, the papers scattered on the table, like a man silently saying goodbye to everything that had once made sense. Then came the knock. 3 times, slow, deliberate, certain. The sound echoed through the walls, steady as thunder, final as fate. He didn't move at first. He just stared at the wooden door, the paint chipped, the handle slightly rusted. Even the rain seemed to quiet down, as if the entire world wanted to listen. His breath fogged the air in front of him. "So this is it," he whispered. "This is how the truth answers back." He took one step forward. Then another. Each footfall was soft but loud in the silence, creaking against the old wood of the floor. When his hand reached for the handle, it trembled, not from fear but from the weight of acceptance. "If this is what it takes," he said softly, "then let it end here." He turned the knob. The door creaked open, letting in a flood of white light that blurred the edges of everything. For a second, he couldn't see. Just outlines, shadows moving in the glow. A uniformed officer stood in the doorway, rain dripping from his cap, eyes unreadable. Behind him, the night stretched endlessly, soaked in rain and silence. The man didn't speak. He didn't resist. He just nodded once, calm and certain. As the officer stepped forward, the man raised his hand slightly, not in surrender, but in relief. It was over. The lies, the silence, the waiting, all of it. They walked out together into the rain. The water soaked his face, washing away the dust of sleepless nights. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled, low and patient. He looked up at the gray sky, eyes half closed, whispering almost to himself, "The truth doesn't save you. It just finds you." His voice blended into the storm, soft, fading, but unforgettable. The camera inside the room kept rolling, even with no one left to face it. Its lens stared into the empty chair where the confession had begun. The sound of rain filled the space, steady, endless. And then, the light flickered once before the screen faded to black.